I just walk out of the court. But then I started, appearing before the court from day one, technically, though I had 1 year of internship here. But then I was never made to feel that I was a first generation lawyer. It's something like the bonding between us was quite seamless. Everything just moved so fine between us. And I never felt that I was his junior because we had interactive sessions. He would just tell me, do you want to go argue a case? I said, okay, fine, I will do it. Because he was more confined to the lower court then. But then he wanted me to, be in the high court. That was the best thing that could happen to a junior. Imagine the senior telling that he would take care of the lower court, because we are not supposed to use the term lower court these days, whatever it is, just for convenience I am using it. But then he would say, I would go to the municipal court or the sub-court or district court as the case may be. You go to the high court. Never did he say that, but he would see that I go to the high court. And later I come to know that he wanted me in the high court. That is why he would always push me to the high court and not to the court there. But what was running in his mind, I have never asked him. Neither was it my concern also to ask him, because that is the way how we worked. The working arrangement was absolutely good, and as I said, I never felt that I was a first generation lawyer. I should say I was even blessed better than that. Something like, had it been something like a father-son or a firm where you had people coming in and then going, it is something that adjustment of work was much better than that, because I have never seen a senior, always seniors try to reach the higher courts and then send the juniors to the lower. I don't know, I think that is the way how it is, but then here it was the other way around. So I was really comfortable in his hands, and then anything and everything, just as I said, I was shunted, I was just in the garage. But then it is that man, Senior Advocate R.G. Shanan, who made me what I am. So my pranams to him, that's all.
Ma'am, this is to you. I would like you to explain the compromises that you had to make with children, family, and work. Being women, we face that alone.
From the very beginning, I may tell you, because since I'm from the background of black and white, we know that we have to, there's no compromise to be done, because if you are in this black and white, you will have to set apart your entire time for that. And since my husband was also very understanding type, from very beginning, since you have asked me, I was initially doing work with respect to the permits, regarding permits, to secure permits for the bus operators. For that, at that time, as per the Motor Vehicles Act, you have to appear before the authority, that is consisting of district collector, superintendent of police, and RTO, plus 2 persons representing the political sides. And this meeting will be conducted every month in every district. And so I used to travel from Kasaragod to Trivandrum, and my husband used to book the ticket for me earlier itself, because he knows that I will be going every week to every district. And of course, Palgad and Trichur and all, I used to go from Ernakulam only. And so he was so much supporting and encouraging me for taking my own files. And for that he was always compromising, even though other lawyers used to say, when my daughter was very young, please don't go like this, leave her like that and all. But he was taking care of my children at that time, and I was so confident and I was very comfortable. Whenever I travel, and attend these meetings and secure permits. And as far as payments were concerned, it was very fabulous also, because all the big operators were there at that time, not like this one bus and one operator. That was not the system prevailing at that time. So in my case, I never felt any difficulty either from my children or from the side of my partner, and it is going very smoothly so far as the last 50 years, 53 or 53 years is concerned.
My name is Advocate Nipin Krishnan. My question is to Devan sir. Sir, your guru Krishnaya sir always advocated on reforming the convict. He always relied on mitigating circumstances rather than aggravating circumstances. So he was against capital punishment. So what is your viewpoint on capital punishment? That's my question.
Practiced criminal law, never heard a criminal case. I'm not going to disclose whether I am in favor of death penalty or otherwise, definitely not. But about Krishna, I'll tell you personally, he was against it, but then there was one incident in the Supreme Court. This is something that was recounted to me. He was hearing a death penalty matter, and there was a buzz in the corridors of the Supreme Court that Krishna is going to write something against it. I believe that the Chief Justice asked him. So he said, no. As long as death penalty is on the statute books, we have to use it. The first thing about a judge is that you don't go by your personal perceptions. You go by what the Constitution tells you and the laws tell you. You are bound to act as per law without fear of favor. If there is a death penalty on the statute book, we will have to use it in the rarest of the rare cases as the Supreme Court has defined it. It's the same with me. I've not had the opportunity of having to answer it through a judgment yet. When it comes, perhaps I will wait for it.
Hi, I'm Madonna, and my question is also for Justice Devan. Sir, every time you speak, you make us put down our phones. It's so captivating every time you speak, and also your judgments and deeds in what you say, you master the art of brevity. How can these young lawyers emulate that?
Art of brevity, you ask my wife, she'll tell you it's otherwise. It all depends on where you are and what you're doing. Brevity is the soul of wit, as they say. This is what Shakespeare said. If you are able to, it's a mastery of the language that you're trying. We're all good at it. We'll all keep developing as we go along. Exactly what I was saying, it's adding value. So everything that you read, doesn't matter whether you enjoy reading or otherwise, but then everything that you read, every information that you get, every input that you're exposed to, you keep on developing yourself to that level where you think that there is a progress forward. Beyond that, I have nothing to say. I was inspired by great people, like Vinod was saying, I was blessed with the greatest of seniors, who was my father, but believe me, I couldn't have asked for a greater senior. I had a super senior in Justice V.R. Krishnaiyer who inspired me so much that what you see me today is 99% of Justice Krishnaiyer, 1% my father, or 90 to 10 and 0 of me. So this is the inspiration. Lawyers require inspiration. This is possibly what is missing these days. And all these we are trying to tell you is just to tell you what really you are all missing. It's inspiration. It's the way you motivate yourself in these difficult times. But I'm sure that little that you spoke, you speak brilliantly. I don't know.
I'm Mahesh. My question is to Devan sir. So you're a gifted orator. Your words are so measured and so powerful. To speak, to submit is an integral part of this profession. So I would like to know, when was the first time that you felt that you can speak confidently on a stage to a huge crowd?
Vinod and I, we studied in the same school. I don't remember Vinod so much because he was much younger. Milu was here. Milu was about 9 years younger. Mintu was about 5-6 years younger. So I don't remember all that. But they should remember one thing. I had a vice principal in my school, the Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan. I speak about him in all my speeches. You know, he is a very inspiring person. He's a big man. He was in Tanzania or somewhere. And he would drive a foreign car. Those days, anything which is not an ambassador or Fiat was a foreign car. He had a Toyota that he brought from Tanzania. So we were all awe-inspired by him because he's driving a foreign car. But the biggest problem was that we are in assembly and ma'am said I was a school captain. Unfortunately, I was. This man would come there, pick up anybody in the audience and say, come here boy, girl, speak. Speak what? No idea. So I started with blah blah blah, blah blah blah, blah and crying. So this is how we started off. But then I was one of his favorite victims, I don't know why. He would pick me up every alternate day. But then he would tell me one thing, he would tell the audience one thing, he would say that, look, I will ask you to speak on the front headlines of the Hindu. My house still has a Hindu. We started reading papers because of that, because we were forced to. So you do not know who among us would be pulled up to speak on the morning assembly. So this is how it started. Again, it's a question of being inspired. I have heard and I have been exposed to great speakers. V.R. Krishna Iyer was one of the finest speakers you could get, and I've always been inspired by that. So it's basically the way you deal with yourself. I'm sure that you've had your own experiences. Deal with that, grow with it, and be brilliant. You are already. Thank you.
If there are no more questions, we'll move on to the next session. I invite Advocate Shruti Bhatt to propose a vote of thanks.
Namaste. As we come to the end of this Young Lawyers Conference, I take this opportunity with great honor and privilege to propose the vote of thanks to a wonderful and enlightening session. First, I would like to thank Honorable Mr. Justice Devan Ramachandran sir for enriching our minds with your thought-provoking words. I would also like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to Senior Counsel Advocate Sumati Dandapani Madam for your inspiring words and thoughts. I also wish to thank Advocate Vinod Bhatt for his motivating speech to rouse the young lawyer. My brother Vinod Bhatt for his motivating speech to rouse the young lawyers. I would also like to add an anecdote with that. I think I resonate with most young lawyers here. All three of you are an absolute inspiration to all of us, and your journey is motivating for us to grow as young lawyers. I also wish to extend my hearty thanks to Advocate Krishna for moderating this inspirational session. And lastly, I wish to extend my warm gratitude to each and every one of you gathered here who's made this session a success with your presence and contributions. Thank you.
We'll be presenting mementos to our panelists as a token of our deepest appreciation and gratitude. May I request Advocate M.S. Kiran to present a memento to Honorable Mr. Justice Devan Ramachandran. I request Advocate P.L. Venukumar to present a memento to Senior Advocate Sumati Dandapani. I request Advocate Sadhan to present a memento to Advocate Vinod Bhatt. We have come to the end of the session. Kindly rise for the national anthem.